Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we've got another list here from comicbook.com. Yes, the gift that just keeps on giving, this time giving us a list of the top Marvel movies. Now, just a quick warning, when they say Marvel movie, they mean any single movie that's ever been based off of a Marvel property, not specifically any Marvel Studios films or anything like that. Any film that has any connection to it, so it doesn't care if it's Sony, if it's 20th Century Fox, or if it's Disney. Every single film that has an attachment to the Marvel Universe in some way is on this list. And something that, obviously I like to do these things live to give my live reaction, so I was only able to really see a few of the of the worst ones on the list, and there's already some problems, and I can only imagine if that is where we are on the bottom of the list. I can only imagine what the top of the list is going to be. And Lance Cartelli, something tells me that it's about to go down. All right, let's see. Number 50. Yes, this is the one I saw. Fantastic Four 2015. No arguments here. I honestly think that that is by far one of the worst, if not the worst, Marvel film ever made. To be honest, though, and to be perfectly just straight up with you guys, I actually didn't hate this movie. Is it a good movie? No. That's why I say I understand why many would consider this to be the worst of the movies attached to Marvel. I think there are some movies that are much worse than this one. There are some, like, for example, Fantastic Four. If it went on sale for like $3-4, I'd buy it. Like, I would probably watch it again. And the main reason is because of the cast. Yeah, the writing's not the best, the direction is, but the acting is not terrible. Like the characters are fine. As you see, you have Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. Both are great actors. So I actually did not hate this movie, and I think the reason why is because I went in with such low expectations that I thought I was just going to absolutely hate the film, and ended up coming out saying, you know what, it wasn't as bad as some people said it was. It wasn't great, but it's definitely not as bad as people are saying it is. Definitely not the worst one on the list that I can think of just off the top of my mind of some other Marvel films that are definitely worse. Again, this one I would watch again. There are a couple others on this list that I probably would never ever want to watch again. Punisher Warzone. Why is this at the bottom of the list? This should be a mid-list movie. Punisher Warzone was great. Like, I loved Punisher Warzone. I mean, I don't know if I'm all alone here. Maybe it's because I'm, a fan of the Punisher character. I thought that this was well done. In fact, this is probably one of the best comic book adaptations of Punisher, just because it's the production design is very comic booky. If that's the term that we can start using now. Is it a great movie? No. But to try and say that it's the second worst Marvel property ever, I would not agree with that. I think that overall it was a fun action movie. I would watch it again several times over, and it has a very cool aesthetic to it because, again, it has that very strong comic book vibe to it. There's another one. Here's one, though, that this is one I'd put at the bottom of the list over the other two, to be honest. Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Other than Nicolas Cage just being Nicolas Cage, which is, of course, always amazing. This is the sequel. This is the sequel to the first Ghost Rider film. I never got to even see this sequel, but it got trashed by not only critics, but also audiences as well. And I always go by audience and critic scores because usually there's truth when you combine both together. So, makes sense. The first Punisher? Really? Really, comicbook.com? So you obviously hate the Punisher. Like, this is the reason why I know this is a political list. The two movies that feature guns and violence and like hyper violence are at the bottom of the list. Like, I think a lot of people still to this day like the first Punisher. There are some people who like Warzone more than the first Punisher, once again because it has that comic book aesthetic to it. But Tom Jane was a great Punisher, in my opinion. I thought he was fantastic. In fact, he did a short film not too long ago where he essentially was the Punisher, and it was really cool. I think it's free on YouTube, so just look it up. Tom Jane Punisher short film. It's great. It's really well done for a low budget. I think he produced the entire thing, and he came back to reprise his role. But no, I think that's once again, comicbook.com is showing its bias here by putting films like that at the very bottom, especially since this film, Elektra, is over it. Yeah, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it having a female lead. I'm sure it has nothing to do with why this film is above both Punisher films. Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it has nothing to do with it, let alone that the Daredevil film isn't anywhere nearby either. It's tied, of course, with the first Ghost Rider. Okay, I can at least understand that, but once again, why? Okay, now let me just be honest about Venom, guys. The first 30 minutes are boring as hell. I did not like the first 30 minutes, but the rest of the movie is fun. To say this is one of the worst films is ridiculous because, one, look to the audience rating. It's very high. Audiences really enjoy this film. And if you want even more evidence of that, look at the fact that it's almost at $1 billion worldwide. People went out to go see this movie and are still seeing this movie. It is still in, what, the top 15 movies of the week? So it's still making money at the box office. Is it going to reach $1 billion? Probably not. But the fact that it's the 5th highest grossing film of the year at this point, that should tell you a great deal, especially since there's really no other movies coming out this year that are likely going to bump it off the list. I could be wrong on that. I mean, there's a few movies that just came out recently. For example, Wreck-It Ralph 2, that very well could reach those levels by the end of its run, but still, it's going to be up there in the top 10 at the very least, highest grossing films of the year. So for this to be at number 44, tied with, with Ghost Rider, I mean, I'm assuming that the reason why they're doing this, or the way that they're doing this, is by the Metascores, which is what I just noticed about this. Let me just make sure what they're doing here. So while the Cinematic Universe is the most popular franchise today, Marvel movies go well beyond just the MCU, and with the release of the trailer of Avengers Infinity War sequel, Avengers Endgame, which is amazing, go check it out if you haven't already, it's time to figure out which of these massive superhero movies releases the best. Using Metacritic's rating system, we've ranked every single movie. Okay, so you're using the Metacritic. Okay, I gotcha. Well, Metacritic is stupid, because, I mean, who uses Metacritic anymore? I feel like it's just totally irrelevant at this point. But the fact that you put this together and thought that this was a good rubric is still me putting this on you. The fact that this is still me putting this on you is because you are trying to use this as a legitimate source. Oh, well, Metacritic, it's a combination of all the various critics around the world, so we're just going to accept it. No, that's not how things work. Why don't you make up your own list? Why don't you personally rank all of these films? At least that would be, impressive from you. But, as you can see, we're just getting a gigantic political. Now it's even more political because now I know for a fact that those first 2 Punisher films were definitely driven down in their score, not because they were terrible movies, but because, oh my gosh, toxic white masculinity and violence. Let's just be honest here. Blade Trinity, okay. Oh my goodness. X-Men Origins Wolverine, okay, this is one that should probably be closer to the bottom because that's definitely one of the worst by 4. Fantastic Four. Daredevil, really? How is Daredevil this high? How is Daredevil this high? Why it's not that high? It's higher than some other movies that it shouldn't be. Fantastic Four 2 is better than Fantastic Four. What? What are these? Oh my god. How do you, with a straight face, say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a definitive list of the best to worst movies using Metacritic. When Metacritic says that Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, is better than, 1, the original Fantastic Four, and several other movies on this list so far. Oh, the first Blade? Oh, so much hate. Blade 2? X-Men Apocalypse. Okay, X-Men Apocalypse was not very good. Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah, definitely not good. Thor the Dark World, not the strongest, not my least favorite. Hulk? Which one? Is this Ang Lee's Hulk? Yes, that's Ang Lee's Hulk. Perfect. That should definitely be at the bottom of the list. Original Thor. Oh, that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart right there. 57 Metacritic score. Ugh, idiots. Idiots. Oh, my goodness gracious. Iron Man 2. Yeah, I would actually put that lower on the list because Iron Man 2 is probably my least favorite of the Iron Man movies. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. X-Men Last Stand. It was not as bad as X2. Spider-Man 3 is above that. The Wolverine is actually a really good movie, guys. If you've never seen The Wolverine, it's fantastic. The Incredible Hulk, I'd put that a little bit higher on my list. I'd definitely put it above Iron Man 3, that's for sure. The original X-Men, oh, look how young Hugh Jackman is. Look at that. Look at that young, strapping young man. Tie for 24th with a 64 Metacritic score. Should be higher than that. Original Ant-Man? That's pretty low. I thought that would actually have gotten a lot higher of a score. Okay, X-Men First Class, that's a good movie. Deadpool 2, that's pretty low on the list. Oh, we don't like hardcore comedies. It's too violent. Like, we like it for its, its current day nuances, but it's too violent for us. Like, that's my mindset whenever I think about critics, because like they're just so full of stuff. The Amazing Spider-Man better than Deadpool and Blade? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, a 66%. Oh my goodness, Age of Ultron should be lower on this list. Age of Ultron was such a bad movie. As was, I didn't like Captain America, the First Avenger. I love all of the other Captain America movies. This is the one that I don't like, so I wouldn't agree with you there. Volume 2 of Guardians was pretty good. I enjoyed it. X2, X-Men United. I didn't like it as some other people did, to be honest, to be perfectly honest. Deadpool 2 ranked higher than the first Deadpool? Yeah, critics are stupid. Guys, Avengers Infinity War is ranked at 15 and got a 68% on Metacritic. And CNET believes it is the best Avengers movie yet. I would say it's arguably the best Marvel film to date. But apparently the critics don't agree with me because the critics are stupid. Yeah, definitely. The first Avengers is definitely not better than this. Oh, but you know, it had our boy. It had our boy in it, and we really like him. I love Joss Whedon. I think Joss Whedon's very talented, but oh my god. Ant-Man and the Wasp, yeah. Yep, here we go. Captain America: Winter Soldier, that's definitely one of the best. I would say that's arguably in the top 3 out of all of them. Doctor Strange was good. Not that high on the list, though. Original Spider-Man, okay, I understand that. Spider-Man Homecoming, I agree there. Days of Future Past, okay, maybe. I actually love Thor Ragnarok, so yeah, I agree with that. 74, okay. Civil War, definitely a great film. Guardians, I still love that film. Logan is fantastic. The first Iron Man film, yeah, okay. Spider-Man 2, I know a lot of people that love Spider-Man 2. I like it. I wouldn't put it above a lot of other, a lot of these other movies. But an 83 on Metacritic over 79, 77, 76, 75. That's just, oh my goodness, critics are stupid. Really? Why am I surprised? An 88 on Metacritic, and the #1 movie according to comicbook.com. People saying, no, this isn't comicbook.com's list. This is them basing it off of Metacritic. Yeah, but they're the ones that decided, you know what, we're going to make a list ranking the best to worst, but we're going to use Metacritic. You know, they could have just said, we're going to give you all the Metacritic scores. But instead, there's like, no, we're using this algorithm we are going to tell you, and then we're going to have a little blurb underneath each one. Oh my goodness gracious. This is not the best Marvel film. Critics, comicbook.com, this is not the best Marvel film. Spoiler alert, trigger warning, trigger warning, guys. Black Panther is a B-level movie. Just because it has certain things about it that make you happy does not make it a better film. Just because you are a political person and love diversity on screen, diversity does not make a film good. Good character arc, good character development, good effects. Those are what make good movies. Black Panther had terrible visual effects, had a very jarring pace to it, I would say, at the best, the very best you could say, and it's just vastly overrated. Again, it's a good film, it's a B-level movie, but to say this is better than Avengers Infinity War, to say this is better than like almost half of the movies on this list, I would say Blade, the original Blade, is better than Black Panther. Yeah, you heard me right. Blade 2, original Blade, better than Black Panther. You can't say that. That makes you racist. Oh, really? Look to Blade. Look to Blade. You hate Black Panther because you're white. You're just a white cisgender male, and that's why you hate it. Then why do I love Blade so much? Again, you're a hypocrite. Get out of here. But anyway, just to end things on a high note, because this is just stupid right here. If you have not seen Godzilla, King of the Monsters, you need to watch it. It is... Now, I will say this much. It is not as good as the first trailer. The first trailer for Godzilla, King of the Monsters, had me so hyped up. It was one of the best trailers that I've seen. Again, up there with The Star is Born, Infinity War, or rather Endgame now at this point, for my favorite trailers that came out this year. Not for movies that came out this year, but for trailers that came out this year. This was a good trailer. This is a strong second trailer. I have one problem with it, and that's I think they show way too much of the monsters. That is something that you should hold on to. I think that they showed the right amount in the previous trailer. This one, they show a little bit too much. And the reason why I say that is because when you have a movie about giant monsters, CGI is obviously going to be a very major part of it. And when you are trying to show your hand too soon, it causes people, especially people with eyes who can see these things, to be very critical, to be very, very critical of the effects that are being used in the film. And the effects at times are quite strong, at times are very good. But when you see too much of it, when you're shown too much of it, it then also becomes very quickly a CGI mess and CGI noise for a decent bit of the trailer, at least for the bigger scenes that they show. I don't want them showing these other things, so I hope that this is the last big trailer that they release. If they release another, I hope that it's just regurgitated footage with a different narrative, maybe with different music too, because I don't want them to show anymore. I don't want them to spoil anymore at this point, especially with those effects, because that's going to be one of the biggest driving forces to this film is people wanting to see those things, wanting to see Godzilla, wanting to see all the other monsters in the Godzilla universe that are going to be represented here on the big screen. in probably one of the biggest budget and given the most attention and most care Godzilla films that's been released from the United States at the very least. So I really hope that's the case because it's probably my second most anticipated film of 2019. Again, I haven't gone through my full list yet, but Avengers Endgame at this point is my most anticipated film. This is right behind it though. This and then probably Glass after that are like my top films of the year, of ones that I really want to see in 2019. But guys, people who are putting this out there, please do not release any more footage because I feel like you showed way too much in this trailer already, and if you show any more, I think it's going to be bad. But anyway, guys, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Have you seen the new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer? It is fantastic. Sorry I kind of, you know, put this on at the very end, but I couldn't dedicate entire video to this just because they reveal so much, and I really don't want to go into too many deals on that. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the monsters, on their look, on which monsters are going to be in it, how much, you might want to hold off on this trailer, to be perfectly honest. If you don't mind those things and you want a really awesome trailer with really cool effects, I think that you'll be very, very happy. I mean, you got Millie Bobby Brown there, who I think is just fantastic, and she looks to be playing another one of those young characters that's very emotional, and she does that very well. So honestly, I cannot wait to see this movie and to see these monsters. But also, I want to know your thoughts about this. Do you think that Black Panther is the best Marvel film ever? Like, out of all the other Marvel films, you cannot tell me that it's better than even Blade or Blade 2, but even more so, like, as far as like very serious films, Logan's one of the best Marvel films that has ever come out. You know, yes, it was 25th Century Fox that did it, but it's still a Marvel property. Infinity War, easily one of the top products. You know, Iron Man, I think definitely the original Iron Man should definitely be in the consideration, be in that conversation. But Black Panther, I'm just so sick and tired of this film just being, for lack of a better term, you know, I can't deal with it anymore because you know this film is going to get nominated for Oscars, and the only reason why is because it has a majority African-American cast. And if you try and tell me any differently, you are blind and ignorant. Because if you can't see the forest for the trees, if you can't see the truth behind it all about why this film is getting so much love and getting so much hype and so much praise, then just stop talking about it because you have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like this video, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.